Net News is sponsored by IBM Solutions for a Small Planet.
Netscape has finally come out with its long-promised push technology. It's called Netcaster, and it funnels internet information to netizens so they don't have to surf websites. Netcaster will push content from specific online publishers that users request. Companies that have signed on so far include ABC News, CNN-FN, Time Warner, Ziff Davis, and our own CNET. Rival Microsoft already has some push capability in its Explorer 4.0 browser. Netscape also announced this week a major venture with Oracle to form a new company focused on network computer technology. Oracle's subsidiary, Network Computer Inc., joined Netscape's Navio Communications. The company will run under the name NCI. It'll develop software for network computers and other internet appliances, including televisions that can surf the net. The market for internet appliances that let you surf the web with your TV is growing increasingly competitive. This week, two companies, Zilog and Planet Web, together announced new technology that should allow manufacturers to build set-top boxes for less than $200. Microsoft's Web TV now goes for about $300. And Curtis Mathis has a new set-top box out to compete with Web TV. It's a little pricier, aimed at the ultimate couch potato. UniView lets users access the net, but also answer phone calls through the box. Plus, it offers weekly TV programming guides. The whole setup sells for about $400. Net bookseller Amazon.com went public last week, raising more than $50 million, cash that should come in handy to fend off Barnes & Noble. Barnes launched a competing site online, simultaneously filing suit against Amazon for making false claims. Barnes is challenging Amazon's claim that it is the world's largest bookstore. With all this competition, look for online book prices to drop. The citizens of Saudi Arabia could soon take part in the digital revolution. The country has agreed to allow internet access, but only after studies are done on how to avoid the negative aspects. The government is concerned about pornography and uncensored news. Saudi Arabia is one of a few Gulf countries without local internet providers. For more about these stories and more from the ever-changing world of computers, visit and bookmark news.com. It's updated several times a day with everything you need to know about the digital world.
Thanks, Richard. Speaking of the digital world, it is time to respond to one of your inquiries about computers and the internet. It's what we call the fact file. And the person who dispels some of that mystery for us every week is CNET's own Sofie Formica. Hey, Sofie.
Hi, Gina. You make me sound like the Angela Lansbury of the internet. Well, it's not a mystery that more people are getting online every day. But what happens if too many people want to visit the same site? Well, that brings us to this week's question from David of Singapore. He writes, what are mirror sites and how are they used on the web? Well, David, mirror websites are similar to the mirror you probably look at every morning. Just as that mirror reflects your image, mirror websites are reflections or exact copies of a site on the web. They're used when a site is getting more traffic than it can handle. You often come across mirror sites when you're searching for shareware. For example, we did a search for the iTuner on shareware.com. It came up with this list of mirror sites where you can download the program. As you can see, there are sites in Australia, Austria, France, Germany, etc., each of which is a mirror or an exact replica of the WinSite archive that hosts the iTuner. These mirror sites help to divert traffic from the busy original site, kind of like a building with an extra parking lot where there are more cars than spaces.
Now, if there are any words or phrases about computing that you find particularly vexing, there are two things you can do. If you're online, come to the glossary at cnet.com. There you'll find an easy-to-use database of computing terms.
But if you prefer to have your questions demystified by yours truly, send me your question at thefactfile at cnet.com or through regular mail to the Fact File, 150 Chestnut Street, San Francisco, California, 94111. Also, if you head on over to cnet.com, we post past week's questions and answers, as well as those Fact File addresses if you didn't have a chance to write them down.
Thanks, Sofie and Gina. Coming up next, art exhibitions online. We'll show you some CNET-approved sites worth bookmarking. Then Desmond has a new breed of palm top to show us that actually does windows.